Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Hakwadash, and Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. This is the article from Salon.com. It says, new study reveals that mussels, oysters, and other sea life contains an excess amount of fiberglass. Now, I remember the previous year or two, maybe, especially this year, they found more and more microplastics. You know, at first they said, "Oh, you're eating, maybe a credit card amount." Now you find if microplastics have been found in people's bodies, in placenta, in newborn children, in your testicles. New plastic all over the place. And now this new study is showing, this is in the UK, that fiberglass is being found in mussels, in oysters, and now here in Babylon the Great, and I'm sure in other places around the world in the UK, oysters and mussels are considered a delicacy that people go whenever they think of seafood, whatever they want to get or whatever, they think of oysters, this stuff, oysters, lobster, all abominable foods. But just to go into the article, not they're abominable and they're not foods, because a food is what you can eat. And the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai gave us, he gave us foods that we can eat. He told us what they are, and they're found in the scriptures. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai changes not. They're always going to be unclean. They've always been unclean. But in the article, go join us at the article. It says, love eating ice cold oysters on a half shell in the summertime. Yeah, no nigga woman does. But enjoy a large bowl of mussels cooked in garlic, wine, butter, and parsley. Then you may be a bit discouraged to learn that, as per Megan Schaltiger at Delish, both oysters and mussels contain disturbingly high levels of fiberglass. And while supposedly fiberglass isn't toxic to you, it can cause bad inflammation. It can cause health problems to you. So if you're a lot of people, and diseases are caused through inflammation. So you might be experiencing inflammation and not knowing why, because there's so many different foods or things that people eat that cause inflammation. Your diets cause inflammation, and inflammation, it causes all kinds of different problems in your body. Um, so while you might be having health problems, which, hey, inflammation is also a part of the curses for Jake. But while you might be having these different problems and not knowing where they're coming from, most of the time it's probably coming from what you're eating. But both oysters and mussels contain disturbingly high levels of fiberglass. So disturbingly high, they're off the charts. Maybe I haven't looked into the study, but Lord willing, I can look into it after this or whatever. But just going off this article, perhaps it is a good time to curtail your consumption a bit, at least in the interim. So they're saying, oh, maybe you should, cut back on eating oysters or whatever until they stop, reading high levels of fiberglass. But it's not just cut back on them. Don't eat them. Don't eat them at all, because they're not lawful. Schaltiger writes that the Journal of Hazardous Materials published the research. Lead author Karina Siokan tells Newsweek that our findings show a disturbing level of glass-reinforced plastic contamination in marine life. So glass-reinforced plastic contamination. So not only microplastics in the water, it's microplastics with this fiberglass. The shellfish samples were collected on the south coast of England, reportedly contained 11,220 glass particles per kilogram, while the mussels had 2,740 particles per kilogram. So they're those are, I don't even know the numbers, but that's a ridiculous high amount to me because there shouldn't be any glass in the ocean, if that makes sense, you know. But anyway, as noted by Pandora Dewan at Newsweek, fiberglass is a reinforced plastic material embedded with extremely fine fibers of glass. It should be also stated that not online shellfish showed high fiberglass particles. Seocan said that we identified fiberglass embedded in other organic material floating in the water, like seagrass and seaweed fragments, small snails, etc. So it's not just in the mussels; it's all over the ecosystem that they took samples from. So it's everywhere in there. It's polluted. Seocan says the reason behind this is because shellfish are ingesting the particles through filter feeding by mistakes. Filter feeders, I'll pull up another article. They don't make mistake. They just filter the water. They don't make a difference between what's in it. Like, oh, I can't eat that. I'll eat this. Like, no, whatever's in the water, they're filtering everything. Like they're literally just filter feeders. Like whatever passes through, that's what they're eating. Noting that this is a stark reminder of the hidden dangers in our environment, and it's not the somebody's polluting the environment. But that's pretty much it for the article because they're just, you know, these people are just making up excuses. But this is Isaiah 24 and verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So this here, I'm gonna come back to this, but Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Oops. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the wicked, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked is Esau, Edom. This is whereas Edom saith we, Malachi 1 and verse 4, whereas Edom saith we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, the people against whom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hath indignation forever. And indignation is righteous anger. So this is the wicked. This is the border of wickedness. Wherever they go, wherever they are, whenever they're ruling, wickedness follows. So they're ruling the earth right now. So the earth, and also, let me see, I had that pulled up too. It's this is Proverbs 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And the whole earth is mourning right now. The earth needs rest. You know, you have these filter feeders, which are supposed to, hey, they do a lot of work. They clean out the environments, the different environments that they're in. They keep them healthy, and they provide, like, they turn their nutrients that they eat, they turn it into turn it and provide nutrients for their ecosystem. You know, it's a the perfect balance of everything in every ecosystem that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai set up. So this is an article for filter feeders. It says filter feeders are aquatic animals that acquire nutrients by feeding on organic matters, food particles, or smaller organisms suspended in water, typically by having the water pass over or through a specialized filtering organ. So filter feeders can play an important role in condensing biomass and removing excess nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphate from the local water body, and are therefore considered water cleaning ecosystem engineers. So these are the engineers, these are the cleaning engineers, these are the things that are specialized in cleaning their area. And one, they're overfished, then also they're being polluted with things that, they're trying to clean up these things that aren't supposed to be in their water supply and aren't supposed to be in their food chain and their supply. So they're working overtime. So when they're testing these, they're like, here, I'll jump down. This is so where is it? Oysters and mussels are bivalves. So I'll just read this quick part right here. Bivalves are an aquatic mollusk which have two-part shells. Typically, both shells or valves are symmetrical along a hinge line. So they have 30,000 species, including scallops, clams, oysters, and mussels. Most bivalves are filter feeders. So I'm going to jump down to this last section. It says bivalves are also largely used as bioindicators to monitor the health of an aquatic environment, either fresh or seawater. Their population status or structure, physiology, behavior, or their content of certain elements or compounds can reveal the contamination status of any aquatic ecosystem. So not only are they're there to clean, but they can also give you the information of what's going on in that ecosystem. So right now they're finding out that the ecosystem is polluted with fiberglass, microplastics in fiberglass. That's what they're finding out. So what does that tell you? The whole water supply in that place, somebody, if what are there's refineries, somebody's dumping fiberglass into the fucking water. That's what it's telling you. Somebody's dumping their waste products into the water. If it was mercury, if the clams, oysters, whatever, tested high in mercury or whatever, they would test high for that. Somebody's dumping mercury into the water. So this is what it's telling you. Somebody's polluting the water. So they are useful as they are sessile, which means they are closely representative of the environment where they are sampled or placed, and they breathe water all the time, exposing their gills and internal tissue. One of the and so they're breathe like their filtering is like them breathing. You know how we breathe in oxygen and put out CO2. You know, we breathe out CO2, the trees breathe in CO2 and put out oxygen. So it's like they're just doing that. They just do that. They don't make a choice in, no, I'm not going to eat that fiberglass there. No, it's in the air. It's the same thing like we're breathing in this polluted air. We don't have a choice. We're just breathing. But anyway, this is that wicked devil putting out this stuff. Oh, these things are too stupid, so we got to step in. Like, no, you're stupid. You're doing all this wickedness. But back to Isaiah 24 and verse 5, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So they've done all these things. The wicked, they've taken through supersessionism. They've said there's no more Israelites. They now, heaven is open for everybody. God loves everybody, this, that. There's no more laws. You can eat whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But let me get this word here for defiled. This is H2610. Chanap says to be profaned, defiled, to be polluted, to be corrupt. The earth is corrupted. And as the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to visit and correct all this, correct it. He's going to put the earth back in order through his son Yahushai and through the ICBM, the missiles. So this is Wiktionary.org for defile, and I'm just going to jump down to the verb. It says to make physically dirty or unclean, to soil, to contaminate, to make someone or something morally impure or unclean, to act, that's fine, to act inappropriately towards or vandalize. So it's all these things. The earth is physically dirty. The earth is physically unclean. The waters are unclean. You know, all these things. The people are impure. They're morally impure. The people are corrupted. You know, 2/3 of the people are tarnished. They're like, how do you call it? Reprobate silver. You know, the earth is vandalized. Esau Edom is going around vandalizing the earth, destroying everything as he goes. It's the border of wickedness. But that's enough of that. The filter feeders. This is Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 9, and this is part of the laws of what you can eat and what this man Esau Edom has tried to change by saying you can eat anything. It doesn't matter. So this is Leviticus 11 and verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all you got to do is look up there. That's it. What fish have fins and scales? And that'll tell you. And then you can, I mean, if you want to keep going, go ahead. But a lot of this stuff you gotta research. You gotta put in the research. This is what you gotta eat. You know, if you don't like eating fish, there's other stuff to eat. You have, what is it? Lamb, cows, goat. You know, what chew at the cud. You know, if you don't like lamb, cow, and goat, say you got grasshoppers. Go for it. The world is yours. But it's like, you know, kind of. Anyway, verse 10, and all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. So anything else, if it doesn't have fins and scales, pretty much if it's not a fish, if it doesn't have fins and scales, it's an abomination. So what, oysters, clams, lobsters, sea turtles, shrimp, all that's an abomination. And all that is, those things are all part of keeping the ocean's ecosystem the way it's supposed to be. They all play an important role. So let me get this word for abomination. It says H8263 shakwataza, says filth, abominable, detestable thing, or idle and unclean thing, an abomination, detestation. So let's get this word for detestable. So this is detestable in the Wiktionary.org. It says stimulating disgust, detestation, offensive, shocking. So let's get this word for disgust. It says to put off one's appetite. So dis, to taste. So disgustus. So to des. Let's look at that. To turn on, to turn off. Oh, to turn off. So let's say forms verbs indicating the reversal of the prefix verb. So ligar means to turn on, desligar to turn off. So it's the reverse. So what you have, oh, let me go back. There we go. So what was that? Gustar, guster, to taste. to put off one's appetite. So reverse the taste. So to disgust, you know, you don't want to taste it. You do the opposite. You kind of retch. Here we go. To cause an intense dislike for something. So it makes you, like, it puts you off. You don't have an appetite for that. You know, like, ugh. You know, you make that face. Ugh. And you crinkle your nose up, you squint your eyes, like you disgusted by it. That's how all these different foods, or not foods, keep saying that, but it's all these detestable things should be. If it doesn't have fins and scales, it's not food. It should disgust you. You know, like imagine, you know, a cockroach or a roach or whatever. You know, the little German ones or the big ones, whatever. Them things are disgusting. Can't imagine eating those. Well, it's like that. The same thing with oysters, uh, uh, all these abominable things that are pushed as foods here, pushed as delicacy. Because remember, here in Babylon the Great, it's the opposite. Everything that is abominable, detestable, all that is pushed as being good. But this is Sirach chapter 33, verse 2 in the GNT, the Good News translation. It says, "A person who has no use for the law doesn't have good sense, and anyone who is insincere about it is going to be tossed about like a boat in the storm." So a person who has no use for the law doesn't have good sense. Now, this is very useful. The law is very useful, especially when it comes to food, because you have to eat things, and you have to learn what is clean and what is unclean. You have to go about this. You have to, you know, especially first coming into this, you have to learn, you know, what can I eat? What can I not eat? So you're looking to turn away from how you used to be in the world, you know. And hey, this is very useful. It's very useful to have a guide. You know, it's very useful to know what is clean and unclean, to know that there are clean and unclean foods. Which, hey, if it's unclean, it's not a food. I keep saying that, but verse 3, if you are wise, you will believe in the law, and you will find it as reliable as the sacred lots. So you will find this law, you believe in it, you believe in these things, you have faith in it. You know, you have it there, it's there to guide you, to help you, you know. It's there to give you sense of what's pleasing and what's displeasing to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And it's reliable. You know, this is a knowing the things that please Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will not let you down. Learning about your power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that's what makes you wise. This is Isaiah chapter 14. And let me see. I'll start at verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. So this is actually, I'll start up a little bit. This is Isaiah 14 and verse 4. Actually, hold on. I'll start at verse 1. For this is Isaiah 14 and verse 1. For Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. It means right now, this man has changed everything around. And he has it to where Israel is gone. Supersessionism, meaning that the Christians, whoever, the small hats, you know, they have the land. The Israelites are no longer to be remembered. The real Israelites, and nobody's going to remember them. You know, we're the people now. which it makes no sense. But in the scriptures, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is always going to choose Jacob. He's going to choose Israel, his people. He's going to gather his elect from all over the world. But Isaiah 14:1, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the stranger being the Israelite foreigners, not the Gentiles, not the other nations. It's the Israelites scattered amongst all those nations. The Israelites have been scattered into every land. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for servants and handmaids. Now these are all the other nations. So Israel is going to take all the other nations and possess the other nations, have them in captivity, because we've been in captivity under all these other nations, starting with Esau, Edom. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So we've been oppressed by every other nation, by every nation on this earth. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to reverse this. They're going to be the captives to the Israelites. And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. So we're going to be mocking Esau, Edom. We had this great kingdom, and it's going to be brought to nothing. Yahushai is going to come and destroy this place in 1 hour. 1 hour, this kingdom that took hundreds of years to be built up, that spread all around the world, that had military bases in every country all around the world, that had its monetary system all around the world, that had its different philosophies, that made the whole earth drunk. In 1 hour, it's going to be brought to nothing. So, the Israelites, and this time we're going to be mocking them. Oh, look at you. You ain't nothing no more. Verse 5, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, meaning their power structure, their military might, all that. Their rule has been broken, destroyed. It's not coming back. Like how it said in Malachi 1 and 4, we shall rebuild. No, the Yahweh Bashem Yahushai took that out. Verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. So this dude that was all bad, wearing out the saints, telling everybody what to do, telling, how do you say, ruling over the nations with his different sanctions and decrees and all kinds of wickedness. Hey, nobody's standing up for you. Ain't nobody coming to your rescue. Yeah, you deserve this ass whooping that's coming. You deserve all this. Verse 7, and this is the point here. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. So when you get brought out of power, Esau, Edom, the oysters, the mussels, everything. He even says in the next verse, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come against us. So everybody's going to be singing. The people, the plants, the trees, everything. Matter of fact, I saw a video earlier of these people in the, I think it's in Amazon, that, they're leaving their land, and it looked like they were on an island or whatever. They looked like they were on a desert island, nothing but sand, but they were leaving the forest because where they were living, it was they were doing so much deforestation in the area that they pretty much had to go find somewhere else to live, because all the animals left, everything that they were doing as that they were living in there, they destroyed everything. And this is all through Esau, Edom. He's destroying the whole earth. For what? Because this man is a madman out of control. But this is what he's designed to do. This is what he was created to do. He is the destroyer. He is the waster. But back to verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. So the point being that when this man is taken out of the way, the earth is going to be at rest. The people are going to be rejoicing. Like how I read in Proverbs 29. But, hey, Lord willing, this is edifying. And I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKakodash. And hey, shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, shalom.